Alright, guys, I'm going to do a short session on nl25zoom on party poker, um, and hopefully you guys can share your thoughts. Also, I'll try to speak during the hands and talk about my thought process, what I think about the field, things like this, and you can tell me what you guys think. I'll play two tables. There's not much of a time bank on party poker, but as I saw you guys, you play pretty fast, all of you. So I like to think for a while, but on here on this interface, it's not very possible. So right now, all right, my HUD uploaded. King 10 off is a fold, even on under the gun, even though I think we should be opening pretty wide. All right, I don't want to see my stats, so I think you should be opening pretty wide because people tend to fold because it's zoom and you're getting dealt a hand right after you fold. But and when you get resistance, you should start being more careful, continuing against resistance. But definitely you can open wider, should open wider. I really don't like the interface on party poker. I wish I could play on Poker Stars, but since I'm from Israel, both are blocked. Here I'm going to 3-bet, even though maybe I would call, I don't know, could have called, even though there is a weaker player. He's a reg, but he's a weak reg, I think. Here I'm going to 3-bet. Gonna start this with a third pot c-bet. Here I'm gonna bet. Here I have a tighter range, so I can bet bigger on the flop. I don't have a lot of bluffs, so I don't need to give a good price to my bluffs. I can just start by betting. On the turn, the 9, he has more 9s and probably more 5s. I'm gonna check and gonna call a bet on the river, and if he's gonna check, I'm gonna bet myself. Against this 12, I think I'm gonna shove. You can have 6, 7. Gonna shove. And we're getting called by 10s. That's nice. A lot of the time, people they bet small, so and they're pretty faced up for. He might have induced me, yeah, but they're pretty faced up about thin value. They want me to call with an ace. They don't want to face a bet on the river. And then when they bet this small, they usually look you up. They think that they induced you. So I think kings is a shove, aces is a shove. I'm gonna have kings and aces, and I think I'm more inclined to bet jacks and 10s on, maybe not 10s but jacks. This guy is opening on the button pretty tight. I'm still gonna 3-bet jack 10 suited, but he's on the tighter side. So when he gives me resistance, when he calls, I'm gonna bluff him less with no equity. He calls the flop is gonna be something like 8-5 deuce with no backdoors. I'm gonna just check fold my jack 10. Here I hit the jack, so I'm gonna c-bet and gonna check the turn. This king, I'm supposed to bet on a high frequency on this king, but I'm gonna check. I don't think that this guy starts calling me with worse when I'm betting the jack, when I'm betting the king, when the king comes. Here, so there is obviously a value bet against his 10s, 9s, 8s. Let's go for half pot. Maybe it's too thin against this guy, but I'm still gonna bet. And here I'm gonna 4-bet to 21 against a pretty aggressive, although I don't have any, but I don't have a big sample on him, but small button versus button, it's a no-brainer. This guy is also on the tighter side, but and he folds to 3-bet pretty often, so I'm not gonna 3-bet him so big, like 4x. I'm gonna do it a little bit under 4x because he does fold to 3-bet, as you guys can see here on the cursor. People that don't fold to 3-bet, I'm gonna 3-bet them bigger, but when they do, all right. Now this guy called. Usually when, or I don't know, I don't really like taking this to like barrel against both of them, even though they're capped. Wow, when this guy bets more than half pot against us both, that's a bit weird because he's super capped, and why does he rep here? But I'm gonna fold. All right. Here I'm gonna check again. Should a queen, an ace, or a king, maybe possibly a 10? No, not a 10. I would have delayed c-bet and would have check called the turn, the flop, not check fold. I'm gonna be not barreling. I think not even enough out of position. But not gonna be barreling too much. Maybe I should because they call and they're super capped, and they're like not even capped, they're also like pretty wide when they flat from the button, from the cutoff. So they shouldn't, but they do, so you should start betting barreling them with hands with equity like ace king. Spider Wi-Fi, that's easy defend. This guy opens MP pretty wide, 26%. That's super wide, and he c-bets flop 70%. So I think, and he's c-betting small here. I think, obviously I'm calling a quarter pot, but I think I'm gonna call 3 barrels here. Let's see. All right, now he checks. And he doesn't bet river much, so I think I'm gonna be betting here like something like 3/4. Might get called by his lower pairs, but probably he didn't have anything. But I don't trust him to bluff this spot too often to be checking my jack. I would have worse bluff catchers to be checking there. Possibly weaker kings and like 7, whatever was there on the flop. 10s, 9s, 8s. I think is a mandatory bet with a jack, even though it looks like he was super wide on the flop and didn't have much and just gave up. Here I'm gonna fold this guy. All right. If this guy bets 3 bets in just a second, this guy opens and does faults occasionally, but hey, here he folds last. I'm gonna 3 bet anyway. Ace deuce. That's a hand that when you 3 bet and he folds like ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, ace 7, ace 8, all offsuits, it's a big win to 3 bet. Not gonna flat fives, even though it's a passive table, but without any information. That's nice. Aces on a super deep table, but I don't know. Alright, gonna be started this hand with a check. 3 is a good card for me. Gonna bet here against Milo Kilo. If you would have raised these people, they don't bluff this kind of line, you know. He doesn't rep any 3. He doesn't have any 3, so he doesn't check the flop and then raise the turn as a bluff. So I'd be in a shitty spot, but would still call and call with aces. Not gonna defend 10-3. I don't feel comfortable defending these kind of hands. Maybe some people do defend it, but alright, gonna pause it at about 100 hands. Don't wanna take too much of your time. Maybe later if you think it's like this guy on 20 hands, but he's like limping a lot, and I'll make it a bit bigger. Gonna start with the check. This is, I might should have barreled here. All right, now here he check raises, and I don't have any information, but he looks pretty tight. So when he check raises here, it's pretty scary. Anyways, on this flop, really, if he bluffs, that's nice. Don't think he's bluffing with this sizing. It's a close one. This small blind is a pretty weak reg. Alright, I'm gonna defend. Let's see. He's cold calling 2-bet on the small blind. I have no. Alright, here I have a gut shot, ace high. I might go for the check raise. I wouldn't pro, because I'm not gonna make them fold anything, and I have ace high. I might be good, even though it's not very likely. But yeah, the ace jack. Ace 4. I think I can bet. It went check on the flop, then bet call. I'll bet, but it's pretty thin. He's king. I'll check. This guy float bets 64%, and he missed the float bet. I don't know, but I'll bet an ace, and he folded. Ace 9 can 3-bet, but won't this time. And I'm gonna wrap up this session for now. At 100 hands. It's a bit more than 100 hands. Actually, at 110 hands. Gonna wait for the big blind. I'm gonna open 10 deuce suited, never mind. and kings for the grand final. Nice, kings, and we get an open and a 3-bet, but a small one. If this guy, alright, and a 4-bet. And a 4-bet by a pretty deep. Gonna 5-bet and like fold it, I guess. That's pretty sick. It's a pretty sick spot. 33. Fuck. Alright. It's a nice wrap up. I got it's again this party poker thing where you don't have time and then you get timed out. That was a pretty sick spot. I mean, usually, I'm not really happy to be 5-betting, cold 5-betting, 200 big blinds deep. With kings, it's not a slam dunk, but obviously I'm gonna go with it. So I'll see you guys in the end of this. I hope to get your